Aloha. Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii with Real Broker, and I'm with.
I'm Kealohanui Brownie. I'm also with Real and Team Nakanishi.
That's right. And we are doing the East Hawaii real estate update for the month of November using October statistics. And we'll be giving you the statistics and the trends for what's happening in the market. And Nui's also going to talk about a little bit of current event experience, which is that 50-year mortgage you might have heard about. And also, she's going to tell you a little bit about some of the lifestyle events that are happening in East Hawaii. So let's get into it. Nui, tell them what's going on with the housing market.
Okay, I always
I
like
had to
to
get my glasses
start
on to
off
watch
with
this. Okay.
I always like to start off with the Hawaii Island just median house price so it can give people a comparison, a mark to compare to, I guess. So for the median home price for October this month or last month was 498,500. That was for the island, and that is down from last year October, which was 545,000. And transactions are also down about 4% from January to October for the entire island. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, we'll move right over to South Hilo. And I always like to just for those who haven't been here before, I like to just kind of describe where South Hilo is. And you're gonna need to pull up a map, but South Hilo is kind of like by the Panaewa Zoo. You'll probably be able to find that on the map really easily. And it extends out to Kaka Falls is another landmark that you'll be able to find on a map pretty easily. So that's a general area that's not exact. It's general, but I think those two landmarks are a good place to focus your mind. So all that area we are about to talk about, and right now we have in Hilo. Well, this is as of November 2nd. I pulled this last week. There were 84 active listings, and so those are down from the month previous. Contingent listings right now are we have 35, and sold in October there were 22 sold. The median sales price in Hilo last month was 614,500, and the your your sales statistics. Is Hilo on sale? Well, not really. You people are negotiating about 3% off of the current list price. So 97.45 is the sales to price ratio in Hilo was it sales to price ratio in Hilo in October. And average days on market was 75 versus 119 the previous month.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
okay. Did you know that it's
yeah.
92% in condos and single family homes in West Hawaii right now? So we have an
The
8% sale going on in our side of the island. So you guys are holding tight to those housing price. I mean, people are getting what they want for their.
Well, so that's the current. So from original, it's 90, almost 92,
Oh, okay.
ninety-one
So
point
okay,
five four.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I did I read off the current price. So
Yeah,
that
that's interesting because the
for you
original
guys
price.
watching, it's after some price reductions is what I was the number I
Yeah.
was reading
But
off.
it shows though that
Um
definitely people are negotiating and they're getting a lower price for their houses right now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, or people are adjusting their prices.
Hmm.
Some yeah.
Okay.
Um yeah. Okay, so should we move on to Puna?
Yeah.
Okay, so Puna is typically the area. Well, okay, so Puna is very, very, very big section of the island, and it accounts for most of the transactions in the island, which is why the median price for the island is so low, is because, well, we're to
Well,
blame.
because it
I
pulls
don't
them
know if we're to
down
blame
when you're in
for
lava
it.
zones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have lava zone one and two, which is makes insurance higher and harder to finance and all of that. There's a big portion of Puna that's lava zone one and two. And so the price points are a lot lower for that reason. And Puna, did I say this already? Puna is like the size of Oahu, the whole island of Oahu. So it's a really, really big area. And right now, there are 374 active listings in Puna. Contingent listings are 125. And last month, 91 sold. The median sales price last month was 360,000. And the sales to price ratio was 99. You're not negotiating in Puna.
Yeah.
Um, from the original price though, it was 97-ish. So, and then average days on market 91. So it's taking about 3 months for those to
Yeah.
sell.
Well, and it's just like let me ask you, do you think that the sellers are hanging on to those prices because the price point is low enough that they're thinking you should pay 100%, where there's more to move when you're dealing with a higher price property?
Well, I've run into a couple of situations lately with sellers in Puna area where they purchased in 2023-ish,
Mm,
like 2020. Yeah, I think both of those that I ran into recently, 2023, uh, they purchased at a price, basically the same price you could sell it for today.
yeah, yeah.
And so if they
You don't want
sell
to take a
it, then they're,
loss, right?
yeah, they're gonna have to take a loss, especially if they put money into the home and stuff like that. So they're not really wanting to budge so much. I think that might be part of the problem.
Hmm.
Also, like I have here the um months of inventory. And right now in Puna, there's still only 5.5 months of inventory, which is kind of a balanced market.
Yeah, same for
It's
same
not,
for Kona, 5.5 months.
oh,
Yeah,
I
so
thought you guys
balance.
had more inventory for some reason.
No, they're going
More.
on, going off, and yeah. So I'm thinking it's going to be a buyer's market. We did the statistics, and it's like a balanced market. But it's been a heavy seller's market for a very long time, and so it
Yes.
definitely is at least it's not like if it's 5.5 months like today, it was like a month for years. And so it,
Yeah.
again, it goes back to buyers have the upper hand right now and being able to look around and getting a chance to actually negotiate, except for people who bought their houses in 2023. So if you want to
Yeah, I
negotiate, you
mean,
guys, does this sound straight though? If you look on the internet and you see that the house actually was purchased like about 5 years ago, you'll probably have a better bargaining opportunity than somebody who just bought their house 2 years ago, right?
well, yeah, the prices have gone up in the past 5 years for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people always look at what people paid, and it's like stop looking at
What
other
they
people.
do. Buyers will do that. Now that Zillow has all that information on the internet, I get calls also from people saying they want what for their house? They only paid this much when they bought it and they had that much pricing appreciation. And sellers will say, I own every penny of that. And then it's so funny because buyers are like, oh, that's not fair. That money wasn't really, that was funny money. And then sellers are like, no, that's money today.
Yeah, well, but it is funny money to the buyer too because it's not like you're in a buyer's mind they're thinking it's funny money, but it's like yeah, but it's also you got to look at what the market is and not what people paid. So it's like you're not you shouldn't think of it as you should get a discount just because somebody only paid X amount.
But they
Like
do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but it's not the way that it works
No,
because
it doesn't work that way. No, sellers will
the
say,
sellers,
"This is my money," and
yeah. And then you're looking like we're providing market data, like this is what the person two doors down from you with this square footage and these upgrades and this, like fenced in yard and these these types of flooring and this is what that one sold for. So that's really what you should be looking at, not what they paid for. Because also there's a lot of factors you can't see in what somebody paid. Like they might have, um, they might have uh, gotten the seller to give them money back at closing. They might have, all these weird factors that you can't really see in the closing price online.
yeah. Can I tell you a funny
So
story? I had a guy say, "I want to see this house. It's up here, like in Kona," and he's like, "They only paid $436,000 for this house, and they're selling it for 2 million." And I'm like, so I looked, $436 was the price of the land that they bought that house
Yeah.
for. And so I'm all, no, you can't do that. And this guy, like, has the money to, and he's still playing that game of that's not fair. They shouldn't charge that much for the house if they only had to pay $436,000 for it. And I'm like, step down, my friend. And
Yeah, yeah. Wait, they built a
yeah,
house.
they built a house with an incredible view over the ocean. So, like you said, it's what they did to the house. And like you said, some people put in very expensive rock walls. Sometimes rock walls are $50,000, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
it's crazy how much those are.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's lots of factors that you can't really see. And so
Yeah. So
anyway.
Iris, just look at the price.
Yeah, just get the market analysis from your realtor, and
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
can
and
kind
then
of
you go shop.
understand what's going on. Yeah, and don't look at what other people paid because it's just like if you go to Macy's one week and then something's on sale, and then later on it's not on sale. I guess sometimes people complain. Anyway, that maybe that's a bad idea, but it's just
Yeah, I know.
okay. Moving along.
Okay.
Wait,
We went off on
I
a
was
little
on
rant
Puna.
there.
Yeah, yeah. Whoops. I was on Puna. Okay, we finished Puna. HPP. So HPP is one of the largest neighborhoods in all of Hawaii, and it's very fast growing. There are a lot of homes going up in that neighborhood. It's very popular because it's about like 20 minutes outside of Hilo, uh, maybe 20 to 30 if there's no traffic. And if there's traffic, then you can probably sit there for an hour at least. But it there are mostly acre lots there, and it is Lava Zone 3, so insurance is affordable, lots of financing options,
Mhm.
and so it's very attractive. You can get a brand new house for low 500s in HPP. So it is growing. We have a lot of listings in
Yeah, I was
there.
gonna say the inventory is coming up. Yeah. So what's it now
Yeah,
compared to last month? Is it getting worse?
um no, last month was 99, this month we had 98. And so there's more in that one tiny little neighborhood, more inventory in that one tiny little neighborhood than all of Hilo, just in
Yeah.
HPP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hilo
Well,
has
just and, we
84.
always like to say this. If people don't understand what HPP is, it's the second largest subdivision in the country, right? Yeah. And just for
Oh,
people
which
also
one's
just
the biggest one?
yeah, do
Where's the
you just
biggest?
to throw this out, you might not know. Do you know what the square foot like 3 miles by 2 miles? What's the,
I should measure it, but from the top of HPP to the bottom, I think it's about 5 miles,
5 miles?
and it does go downhill. And so you'll notice that the bottom is much sunnier than the top most of the time. Like I went there yesterday and it was raining when I pulled into the neighborhood, and my clients bought a house on the ocean, and I went to their house, and it was sunny down there for a minute, and then it started pouring. But it's just weird how it just changes so quickly from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. So I have friends that live in HPP, and they have a teenage daughter. And she was telling me that she loves the rain because then she says she gets to take longer showers and she actually gets to clean her clothes. I'm like, please
Oh,
tell me that it's not that tight. And she said, it's been dry. And
yeah.
and she said, so our catchment tank is all that we have. And if it gets desperate, of course, then someone can bring water in. But I'm like, so you guys really seriously base, how long that you could take a shower for and how often you clean your clothes? And she said, it happens. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's off grid.
that's a good point. I because yeah, so in HPP, Hawaiian Paradise Park, m most people have catchment tanks, or closer to the ocean, you'll see wells here and there.
Wells, okay. But they don't
Running
have, just
around
so you
the
guys know, there's no county water. There's no, reservoir feeding you fresh water into your house. It just isn't, that's not the experience. So yeah.
there are a few lucky people that are right by the highway
Hmm.
that have county water in Hawaiian Paradise Park, and then right by the fire station.
Ah,
So
that's a good place to have some water.
yeah, yeah. So those guys are really lucky. But yeah, for the most part, you have to come up with a different way of
The
catching
rain
your water.
gods.
Yeah. So thank gosh it's been raining this
Yeah, so
week.
rain, a lot of
Um,
people, and just so you guys know too, whenever I say this to anybody who has any Hawaiian descent, and I say anything about the rain,
neat.
they always jump in with, "Isn't it a blessing? Rain is life,
Oh,
right? Water is life."
yeah,
And I'm like
yeah,
this, meow, 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 it's raining. And every time I walk by somebody and talk in a conversation where I'm like, "Oh, hey, it's raining," somebody of Hawaiian descent will say, "It is a blessing." So, especially when you need it to like do your daily activities, I'll give it up to the rain god. So,
yeah. No, yeah. It is funny because I don't mind the rain. And mostly in Hilo, like Hilo is, I think it is the rainiest city in the United States.
yeah.
Um, but it rains mostly at nighttime.
Mm.
So it's we get the most rain, but it happens mainly at nighttime. Right now, this past week's been raining a lot, but we've been in a drought, so
Mm. So it's, yeah,
that's why she was
it's good.
not wanting to wash her clothes.
Yeah, because I was just talking to her last week. So, yeah, then
Yeah,
we've had the fire up on Mauna Kea too. So, yeah, it's been dry.
yeah,
So hopefully now
yeah,
that the season's changing, hopefully we'll get a little more rain. So,
yeah. It's raining. I
so
got to wear my sweater. I'm so
I'm all, look at you
excited.
with your cool sweater.
Yeah, I was excited about that today.
Well, it's still 88 degrees here, so at the end of November, I can't wait to the end of November. The December like 2nd is my favorite day of the year because I swear to God, the first week in December, the heat breaks, the humidity goes down, and it's like living the good life in West Hawaii. But with you guys, you'd probably look at you're wearing a sweater, that's nice.
I love it. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Now we're on another
Okay, sorry.
tangent. Wait, we didn't. Yeah, so we are talking all about HPP, but I didn't say
Yeah,
what.
what's median price now?
Um, there's 98 actives right now, 35 contingent, which is pending sales, and then there were 19 that sold last month. Median sales price was 490, and so it's going down because I think a few months ago, I want to say it was mid fives in HPP, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it is going down. Um, and then sales to price ratio is 99 for the current price and 96 from the original. So not
Not
too
yeah,
much
yeah. There's
chasing
not a
happening.
huge sale, yeah. But the prices are
Yeah,
are sliding down a little bit, right?
yeah. And there's 84 days on market right now. So that last month was 90 and then that's an average and median is about 53.
Hmm.
So yeah, and so months of inventory. Actually, last month when we did this, there was just under six in HPP also, and now there's 7 months. So we are leaning more,
Towards
not
buyers
yeah, it's
market.
more towards a buyer's market, but it's just a slower moving and slightly softer market
Mhm.
in HPP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean just and also I don't even know the numbers, but there's a lot of brand new home building going on in HPP, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, it's they say we have to build our way out of a housing crisis, with just not enough houses, across America. But also when you have more and more and more and more inventory coming in, it gets harder to get your old house off the market when people can buy a brand new house for the same amount of money.
Yeah. But yeah, I- and the it's interesting though because the lot prices in HPP are 100,000 plus. You
Yeah.
can find a lot a little bit less once in a while. Like one of my clients got one for like 80 something a few months ago. But generally they're over 100. And
Mm.
then like building prices are 250 a square foot, I think is what I got from HPM, which is our building supply place recently. And that's for interior square footage, living square footage without finishes.
Mm-hmm.
And 150 for like things like lanai and garage space.
Hmm.
So when you do the math, like it's not it's kind of pricey to build your own home too. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
But some of those new homes
yeah.
were by that guy that got the land for like $60,000, you know. So he kind of
Oh,
got in a bunch of lots when it was not too crazy. And then because that's the house our friends bought into, like that classic house that you see every time you walk in now with the same kind of finishes and the same. He got a deal on that countertop because it's on all the new homes that the quartz with the white and the black kind of show through it. Yeah,
oh
so
yeah.
yeah, and so maybe because that there's one guy that was able to build a variety of houses, he might have been able to do a little less. But as you know, there's people out there also buying 800, $900,000 houses too, with really nice finishes and really, yeah. So, but it's interesting to see what's going to happen with the people were waiting for the house, the market's rates to drop down, and they really didn't drop that much. And that's what we were going to talk about next, is that what we can expect for rates if people are waiting to see how the rates go lower to try and see if they should finally jump into the market. And let's talk about that. Are you done with the statistics?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, the months of inventory, like I said, HPP has about seven, so it's
Mhm.
kind of moving towards a more buyer's market. And then South Hilo has about four, 5.5, and so does Puna. So those are still they're more balanced, leaning slightly towards sellers.
Yeah. Because again, we're not having a housing crash. We're talking like, a 3 or 4% sells to original list price. We're not seeing somebody getting a 20 or 30% off their house. I see that's happening in like Florida and Aspen, or not Aspen, but Austin, where the houses are really, there's just too much inventory for not enough people who want to stay there. So it's still Hawaii, guys. So okay, for the interest rates. You and I had gone to see the National Association of Realtors economists speak here in West Hawaii a few weeks ago, and tell us what you took out of that experience.
That I'm a big old nerd, and I was very excited about about that whole experience. But yeah, so we were talking about this earlier. He mentioned during his talk that he doesn't really see ever in our lifetimes
Mhm.
mortgage rates in the 3 to 4% range ever again. Maybe after another 100 years or so. He didn't say that 100 years thing. I'm just saying how long am I gonna live? So he said our lifetime, and then he said that we're probably gonna just hover around six from now on.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
yeah.
what I just did the update on West Hawaii, and we were talking about the fact that he said we can't let the interest rates go too low because of our national debt is making it so that we can't have like inexpensive money. And if you guys are interested in understanding more of that, on our island-wide update that we're doing on the 20th, we're actually going to have Travis Green talking about mortgages, and he's going to give a little bit more explanation of how that ties to what the consumers are dealing with in terms of mortgage rates, about how our national debt actually affects what we're going to pay for housing for the rest of our lives, which I think is interesting, so people at least have an idea what's happening with the market dynamics. But
I love listening to Travis. I just, I don't know. I just find all this stuff so
yeah,
fascinating
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he
yeah.
like the
So,
economics and how things affected one another. And
yeah,
Travis is he's a great mortgage broker, and he's really helpful with having people understand mortgage rates, and also if
so
again,
good.
yeah, he's really good. So um
Yeah,
so so therefore, if people are still waiting for the rates to drop exponentially, stop waiting, right?
yeah, yeah.
You're
I
like,
think I said
yeah,
this
I'm
last time.
sorry.
What's that?
It's like, yeah, you're like this. Yeah, I know. It means that buyers are not going to be flooding the market trying to get inexpensive housing because financing isn't going to be going down. So,
Well, I guess this is a really great lead in to our
our
the other
trend
thing that we
report.
were talking about earlier today. Are we done with Lawrence Yun? Um, well, so that 50-year mortgage, not to beat a dead horse, is that the saying?
Yes,
Beating a
yes.
dead.
And it's funny because you say you're seeing it all over the internet. Well, there's some people in this group that probably haven't been keeping track of why. So just so you guys know, Trump was floating the idea of a 50-year mortgage, and Nui has done some deep dive into that information. So tell us kind of what you think about that.
although I feel from the research that I've done, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I did see one lender on my social media that we were kind of going back, bantering back and forth because I was like, I kind of did a deep dive into this and I can't really see any benefit to it because it, A, it doesn't really save you much money month over month. It and B, it'll save you a couple $100 every month, depending on what the interest rate is. But and so then it helps you qualify a little easier, I guess. But the problem is that like, okay, I ran some numbers over the span of time, you end up paying so much more interest. And most people, so then the argument is, well, you're not going to hold that loan for
50
50
years.
years.
Yeah.
Um, And so I'm like, so he was like, well, if you sell in 2 to 5 years, and I said, well, if you sell in 2 to 5 years and payments are amortized over 50 years and interest is front loaded on a loan, so then you're not really paying down your
Any.
principal to get
Yeah.
equity
Hmm.
in your home. So now you have this loan, and if the market doesn't go up enough, you're not going to be able to sell in 2 years because you're going to be stuck in this loan. And it's even now with people with 30, 15, and 30-year loans, they're getting stuck in their loans. Like we're seeing with those people that bought in 2023, they're
Yeah.
getting stuck because now the price that they paid for that house is about the same as they paid in 2023. Plus they have realtor costs. They probably put money into their home. So I I always, when I talk to my new buyers, I usually tell them, I mean, usually I suggest that if you are buying, you probably want to plan on owning your home for at least 5 years because of all these fees that you're going to end up paying.
Mhm.
And if you sell before then, you're going to have to be prepared that you might have break even or which is fine. At least you got
If you
utility
want to get
out of it,
out, or
right?
some people just have to get out, right? They're
Yeah.
having a
Yeah,
baby,
yeah, yeah. If you
a
just had to
death in
get
the
out, so
family.
you can't ever
Yeah.
predict life, of course. So, but like, yeah, you're not predicting life.
Hmm.
Um, and sometimes that just happens. But you know, if for planning purposes, if you're just like, oh, I'm gonna move somewhere for two years, I I don't know that buying a house for 2 years really makes a lot of sense. So
Hmm.
he was like, first time home buyers usually sell in the first 2 to 5 years, and I'm like, well, this would really not make sense for them. I was just trying to understand his thought process, and I still haven't gotten to the bottom of it, but
I'm not going to
it wouldn't make
disparage the
sense.
man, but he's
It
not a
wouldn't make
mortgage
sense for them.
professional.
And so I did do some numbers, and if you were to buy a home with a 50-year mortgage and the interest rate was exactly the same,
Mhm.
um, for example, assume you bought something at 600,000 and you put 20% down. 30-year monthly payment would be 2878, and you would end up paying 556,000 in interest over that
Oh,
30 years.
yeah.
For 50 years, if you had the same 6% interest rate, the payment would be $2,527 a month. So that's a savings of about $351 a month. So you can see you can qualify for it easy, but we're talking about the exact same interest rate. And uh but instead of 556,000 in in interest payments, you are now at 1.4 million interest over that
Wow.
whole time. Yeah, so the interest is a lot higher. So now we'll do something that's more realistic because um, having the same interest rate for 30 years and 50 years is not realistic because an investor has to
Make money.
lend you money for longer. So there's risk with that.
Hmm.
And then there's opportunity cost for the money that they're giving you. So they're going to want to increase the interest rate for that. And then there's like all these risks of what if money changes and the way that we spend money. What if we go to all crypto or something
Yeah,
like this,
yeah.
you
It
know, like
could
I
happen.
don't
It could
know.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So over 50 years, a lot can change.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that risk factor
Hmm.
that's going to have to get priced in. So there's no way you're going to be able to offer the same interest rate for 50 and 30 and 50 years. So if we if we just said, oh, uh, let's say 30-year is 6% and 50-year is 6.89%, that's not even a full point higher. Um, the payments, you only save $30 a month on that payment.
Hmm.
Um, and then you're still paying $670,000 more in interest.
Yeah. No, that does not sound like a good investment. So,
No.
no. And it sounds like, oh great, you get like longer to pay, a little less, but it doesn't really work out that way. And with people understanding compounding interest and like a opportunity cost, why would somebody take the money out of the doing something else with it for that long? But and you're right. I think that crypto and Bitcoin might be definitely a game changer in the future. So but so anyway, so we wanted to talk to you guys about that because you might have been hearing about the 50-year mortgage rate. It doesn't seem to like make sense. And I've heard the banks were saying, you know what, that's not going to happen. It takes too long to set it
Yeah.
up and it's too long out there. So okay,
It
so
just
that
puts
brings
them at so
us,
much risk too. Like it's so
yeah.
risky for
Yeah, they put
them.
it that far out. Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
some people think 30 years is enough. Okay, real quick. So when people want to think about lifestyle in Hilo and East Hawaii, I want to have you give them a little bit about what's coming up in terms of events and what they could expect if they're living here or if they want to live here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the things that might be coming up and where they can get more information?
Well, the holidays are coming up, and we have humongous craft fairs everywhere in during the holidays. And so people fly in from other islands to set up their booths and everything. And so you can find really cool gifts and clothes and these came from the craft fair.
Oh,
Um, this lady from Kauai sells these the Tahitian pearls.
yeah.
And so I have a bunch of those from the same lady in Kauai. And what else? There's like the local designers. Well, I'll say local, but they're like statewide, like
Oh, the
they
clothing.
usually set up. Yeah.
Oh, I need
And
that.
then
Where are they going to be doing that?
they have it at the uh oh gosh, what's that place called? I always want to say the tennis stadium. It's next to the tennis stadium, but it's not in the tennis
Oh, the
stadium. And
Edith can no, the Afuk Chenin.
yeah, yeah, a function. Uh,
Actually,
yeah, the Civic
oh, the Civic
Auditorium.
Auditorium. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's definitely easier to say. So,
yeah,
yeah, so like on weekends coming up in the holiday during like December, are they doing this or like is there a? I guess
yeah,
you go look at the calendar that you have on your website, right?
yeah. So our marketing girl, she collects up all the events for the whole island, actually. So she puts them on our website on the calendar, so you can go to our website, hawaiianrealty.com, and look for the calendar. Stats are also there, island-wide stats, if you guys want to check those out.
Cool.
Um, but and the other thing that is really cool that's coming up is if you're interested in learning how to oli, which is chant, there's a oli festival, and
And I had never
so
heard of this before. This is really cool. I that's
yeah, so Edith Kanakaole's granddaughter
oh
puts this festival on. So yeah, you're learning from the source,
yeah, that's
and
cool.
so
That's
I'm gonna
cool.
go. I think it's 2 days. Yeah, December 12th and oh, sorry, not 12th. December 7th, I believe that is, but I gotta feel like a fish out of water.
Well,
I do
you
not.
got to immerse yourself so you can like, get better at it. And having someone with that historical background of like being the original from the original. In fact, Edith, tell me, Kanakahali, say her last name.
Kanako Ole.
Kanakahali. She does have that whole building named after her. That's where that comes from. And she was a very prominent person in Hula. Is that kind of what people know her
Yes.
for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's cool. That
So
sounds like a very helpful thing.
yeah, it's I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because yeah, I'm gonna feel like a fish out of
Well, do they
water.
call it out like, say this, and everyone says da 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 da? Or do they try and tell you
I
the
don't
whole thing
know.
and then you got to do it?
I haven't been to one. This is my
You'll have
first
to
one.
report back. When we come together in January, you're going to have to tell us what
Okay,
the Oli festival, this opportunity to learn chants and things are going to look like. So, but if
one
you
thing
do want to know more, I guess that
oh,
you have a
sorry.
website, right? So you have links to so on your website, you have links to other events so people can learn
Yes,
more, right? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's
She,
way,
sorry,
yeah.
I keep cutting you off. I'm
No,
all
it's okay. Go,
excited.
go, go, go.
I don't know, maybe it's Friday, that's why. Um, not that it matters in our world, but I have to
I
work
know.
tomorrow. Um, but she also teaches a class that's really neat, and it's kind of mixes Hawaiian life ways with, she kind of shows you how like Hawaiian ways of living um or how to use certain plants and things for like medicines and identifying plants, and just teaches you about Hawaii life ways and um how to apply them today and how people are applying them today. And so that's a really neat class that I was taking for a while.
Oh.
uh, and she's very entertaining, so it's yeah.
That's cool. Good for you. I'm definitely,
Yeah,
that's sustainability right there for life because obviously kind of like digging deeper into what you can be growing on the island or how to like, be one with the land and just, following the Hawaiian techniques. In fact, I was in Oregon at this random resort and they had a book. It was called like Living Aloha or something or Living Hawaii or something. And the whole book was about different plants that grow on the island that have healing properties. And it talks about sustainable lifestyle and farming. And they have this whole book on it. And so I'm like, I might get that. So I was going to order it from Amazon because I do think that there is ancient wisdom and things like that that help us in today's world.
yeah, no, it's really neat. All the things that she teaches about the plants, but also just about like cultural things, because those are very I think that our culture here in Hawaii, we were we Hawaiians are very intuitive, and it's just like it's just very, in my opinion, I don't know, I grew
No,
up
go
here, but
ahead. Let's hear it.
our
Okay.
culture
Uh-huh.
is beautiful, and I think that's a lot of why people want to be here, because we do have a culture of like caring for each other, and that's what aloha is about, is like aloha, let's aloha each other, let's all love each other and care for each other. And I think that's what draws a lot of people to Hawaii, because if it weren't for the culture, you could just go to Costa Rica.
Right.
Like,
Go sit in the jungle next to the ocean, right?
yeah, it's basically the same, but I think why Hawaii is paradise is just because we have this really special culture and um way of being, I think,
Yeah,
here.
yeah. In fact, I've asked a couple times out, like on blogs and things, what's your most favorite thing about Hawaii? And they say the people. So it's not just
Yeah,
the blue ocean or the fact that it's warm all year long. It's specifically because the people, because that makes the character of the island. So so right. Yeah. Um
yeah.
okay. Well, and if you want if you want to give me any links and stuff, if you care more about learning this kind of thing, if you give us any type of like things that you feel are helpful for people to learn more about the Hawaiian culture, let's drop it down in the description and people can start learning more before they come to the island, or even if they're here and they want to learn more.
Can I ask the audience a question?
Ask the audience.
Um, I was my niece, she speaks Hawaiian fluently. So I was wondering if maybe they might like her to come on and teach them one Hawaiian word and each time, or something like that. I don't know if
Yeah.
that would be cool. I don't know if that would drag this on too long, but anybody's interested in that.
Yeah, drop it if you guys
But
want to learn some Hawaiian. And no, and the one thing too that what I like about talking to you too is that you don't always mean to add this to the mix, but you do. it's giving us more insight into being in the Hawaiian culture and understanding what's, a little bit more deeper than, what we do sometimes
Well,
in
I
Hawaii. So thank you.
oh, thank you for letting me share. I think it's really important to understand the culture because a lot of people will move here and they're like, "Oh, this wasn't for me, this culture." And then they spent hundreds and thousands of dollars and then they don't understand our culture and then they're like, "No, we don't like it here." And then they just move right away. So I do think it is an important thing to kind of do a little research on it at least before
Mm,
um making that decision.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm just gonna call it spade a spade. There's more culture in East Hawaii than there is in West Hawaii. And so,
Yeah, yeah, I was just gonna say that too, is like all the different islands all have different feels, and even on our island,
different
each little
regions.
area
Yeah.
has its own feel. So a lot of people will pick Kona for specific reasons versus Hilo. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. And
so
when I tell people why they moved to East Hawaii, a lot of them will say not just because the culture is a little bit more you learn more about the culture because the culture is, more embedded in day-to-day life. But also, people come and say I like to garden, I like the greenery, and I'm like, oh, you know what? You could again go farm in Puerto Rico. But really coming to East Hawaii is that being enmeshed with the culture and the richness of it. So so soak it up, you guys. If you're gonna come to East Hawaii, or if you just moved here recently, you're watching this, it adds so much more value to your life on this island when you understand more about the history and the day-to-day, experiences, right?
yeah, yeah. And people get really afraid that locals are going to be mean to them. And you have that everywhere when you go places. But generally, as a rule of thumb, for I think for anywhere you go, is if you're nice to people, you get it right back.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah. Offer aloha and it comes back at.
yeah,
Because yeah, if you use if you use the old entitlement of like, I'm walking here, and you have a tendency to offend people by not showing aloha, you're going to get that back, right? So
yeah,
yes, so
yeah.
come with a little bit more humbleness and openness towards kindness. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Humility for sure will get you a long
Humility,
way.
that's the word.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and realize that there's a host culture on this island. This is not the next state over. This is a completely different experience if you're thinking about moving to this island. And we talk about this, and I think when people they don't really understand what we're talking about until they've been here. So another thing too, if you guys want to drop it down in the comments if you live here about what your experience about, what it's like to live here. So people know. I think that it's important for people to kind of get different perspectives. So boy, this was
Yeah.
a real estate market report today.
All kinds of stuff there.
Yeah. So that's cool. Okay, then yeah, and I know people go say, why do you have to talk for 45 minutes? Oh, well, because we do it. It's kind of like a podcast. So thank you, Nui, for being part of the experience here and helping people learn more about the real estate,
Thank you.
so life on island. So again, we will drop the information down below. HawaiianRealty.com is where you're getting
Hmm.
information about the statistics and also upcoming events. So thank you, and obviously you can contact Nui there as well. And thanks for again for bringing in the good stuff. So we will
Thank you.
we'll see you in December.